Hey there, this is Women on the Brink. I'm your host, Chris Jeffrey, a registered acupuncturist and wellness advisor with a passion for helping women live happier and more balanced lives. When I'm away from work, I'm usually outside in nature, either walking the seawall or I'm hiking in the mountains. And like many of you, my life has been filled with moments of hardship, some that I thought I couldn't overcome and really left me questioning my own strength. But through these challenges, I discovered resilience, courage, and a renewed sense of purpose. So I'm here to share not just my journey, but the lessons I've learned, and to remind you that no matter what obstacles come your way, there's always a path forward. And just to let you know, this podcast is not prescriptive, it's an offering. So please take what resonates with you and leave the rest.
Okay, so welcome back to Women on the Brink. Today we're going to dive into one of my favorite little parables, but we're going to give it a woman's twist. So it's about work and ambition and the invisible pressure to always be doing more. And what happens when you stop to ask yourself, more for what? So here's a woman's version of the story. The male version is about a fisherman. So here goes. There was a woman who ran a small bakery in a seaside town, and every morning she woke up early, baked enough bread and pastries to feed the people in her community. And then she spent the rest of the day doing the things she loved, walking with her kids, sipping coffee with friends, reading by the water, and cooking dinner with her partner. One day, a wealthy businesswoman visiting the town stopped in and tasted her bread. And she said, "Wow, this is amazing. You should expand. You could hire more staff, bake more bread, open shops in every town along the coast. You'd make a fortune." And the baker smiled politely and asked, "And what would I do then?" "Well," said the businesswoman, "you'd work really hard for years, build your brand, and eventually you could sell the company for millions. Then you could retire and spend your days exactly how you want, with your kids, relaxing, enjoying coffee with friends, cooking dinner with your partner." And the baker laughed and said, "Yeah, but I'm already doing that." So this story hits different when you picture the woman as someone like us, balancing work, caregiving, the mental load, and the constant hum of, I should be doing more. The truth is, so many of us are already working for the things we say we want. We just get convinced we have to earn it through exhaustion first. I have a couple of examples of women who had the chance to build or expand an empire, but chose balance or their values or a simpler life over more. So the first one is Maya Rudolph. I don't know if you're familiar with her or not. She's an actress and comedian. So after a huge run on Saturday Night Live and hit films, Maya turned down several offers to headline her own network show because she didn't want the grind and the schedule that would put her away from family. So, she's spoken about this in interviews and mentioned that she consciously chose a slower career trajectory so she could raise her kids and live a life that feels like it's her own. And another example is Irina Sendler. This is a historical example. So during World War II, Irina rescued over 2,500 children from the Warsaw Ghetto. And after the war, she could have leveraged her story for power or political influence or money. Instead, she retreated into a really quiet life of service and just said she didn't save the children to build a monument to herself. Very altruistic, right? And then there's Phoebe Waller-Bridge. So she's the writer and the actor from Fleabag. So after Fleabag became a phenomenon, she was offered multiple seasons, merchandise deals, and massive streaming contracts to build a Fleabag empire. But she refused. She said the story was complete and she didn't want to dilute it or turn it into a machine. And she quoted, "There was a power in stopping, walking away from more." How cool is that? And then our own Canadian Joni Mitchell, the musician and songwriter, So at the peak of her fame, she turned down world tours and major label demands because she didn't want to lose herself or her creative authenticity. So she chose to live a quieter, more artistic life rather than, building an empire. And, this is for sure something that I battle with, and I think many of us driven women do. So I'm questioning, like, how much can I produce? And instead, maybe what I should be thinking is, what am I actually trying to create? And, am I chasing more out of fear or am I protecting what's already good? And can I let myself have the life I want without having to build a whole empire just to satisfy it? So if you're on the brink today, I want you to just pause and ask, am I already living pieces of the life I dream about? And if so, what would it feel like to honor that instead of pushing it off into some future version of yourself who's more tired but deserves it? Because maybe, just maybe, the catch that matters isn't bigger, it's already here.
Thanks for joining. And I want you to know that this isn't just a podcast, this is a movement. So share this information with your friends and let's go, ladies.